Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Okay, folks, let's quickly check in on the price of Bitcoin. We're still forming higher highs and higher lows. However, if we break the support level of 90K or 91K, we could go down to retest some lows, maybe in the 80s or the high 70s, around 78,000. So just be mentally prepared for that. That is a possibility. I like to share all the scenarios with you guys. And this is just a short-term thing, right? So we have to be patient and let the market do its thing. So just be mentally prepared that that could happen. But overall, I do believe some sort of rally has started and it's playing out here. And yes, you're going to have volatility. You're going to have longs liquidated. You're going to have shorts liquidated. This is just par for the course. So the big question, as we've been talking about, is this simply a relief rally that then fails to hit new highs and rolls over to new bear market lows? Or it is a continuation of the bull market to new highs. I'm personally leaning towards a continuation to new all-time highs due to macro factors such as quantitative easing and much more. And speaking of quantitative easing, we got the Fed. They are getting ready to expand their QE operations, which started in December. The first Fed T-bill, Treasury bill purchase hits tomorrow, January 20th, injecting 8.3 billion between 9 a.m. to 9:20 a.m. Eastern. A total of 55.36 billion in short-term liquidity is set to pump into markets through January into early February. This will eventually make its way to the markets. Now, doesn't mean that there's not going to be volatility, right? So just be prepared, but the liquidity is starting to rise. And we are seeing that whales are buying. So this is something we've been tracking. I've been sharing the data from Sentiment, even Glass Nodes data, and the whales are accumulating. So that's a very good sign. They would stop their distribution. And we are seeing crypto ETFs are seeing big inflows. So crypto ETPs gather steam with 2.2 billion inflows. Bitcoin dominates gains. So most of last week's crypto fund gains were concentrated in Bitcoin, which attracted $1.55 billion of inflows, or more than 71% of the total weekly haul. Ethereum funds drew $496 million in inflows, while XRP and Solana funds followed, pulling in roughly 70 million and 46 million respectively. Smaller altcoins such as SWI and Hedera, or known as HBAR, recorded inflows of $5.7 million and $2.6 million. So ETF inflows are on the rise again. Whales are buying, liquidity and quantitative easing is ramping up on the Fed side. So these are all bullish factors. So we just got to be patient and let the market do its thing. Now, the big news of the day, which is pretty incredible, the New York Stock Exchange announced the development of a platform for trading and on-chain settlement of tokenized securities. New York Stock Exchange digital platform will enable tokenized trading experiences, including 24/7 operations, instant settlement, orders sized in dollar amounts, and stablecoin-based funding. Wow. Its design combines the NYSE's cutting-edge pillar matching engine with blockchain-based post-trade systems. Folks, this is massive. This is the New York Stock Exchange. And look at what they're doing. Folks, we know the only reason they're doing this is because the first truly global market and the first 24/7, 365 market was crypto. And all other markets are going to follow suit. And it's the reason they're able to do that is because of blockchain technology. So clearly, this technology is the future. I've been saying it nonstop. The future economies, markets, and governments will all run on blockchain rails. Your fiat currencies and your assets and your money movement all powered by crypto and blockchain, folks. So incredible what's happening. So of course, they're forced to now go 24/7. And as Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, said a couple of years ago, tokenization is the future of finance. They're going to put all the assets on chain, folks. That's what's coming. Book it. Despite all the volatility and the market swings and bull and bear and all the noise, they're going to build this thing out. So I hope you recognize what's happening. The biggest of the biggest institutions in the world. We're seeing banks, stock exchanges, credit card companies, payment companies. They are all getting on board, guys. How many news items have we covered for years, and we're seeing the huge capitulation from even the naysayers like your Vanguard and Morgan Stanley's and even JP Morgan, right? You notice Jamie Dimon has gone quiet, right? His last statements were blockchain, stablecoins, crypto is real, right? He's forced now to get on board, so he's no longer a detractor, folks. So, what do you think is going to happen as they build on these blockchain networks? The value of the blockchains and their native tokens will rise. Now, we don't have details on which blockchain they're using, but even if they are using a private permission blockchain internally, what have we seen? They have to bridge to the public blockchains because that's where the liquidity, that's where the settlement is. So they can build a wall garden, that's no problem. But if you want to communicate with the rest of the world, you got to bridge to the public blockchains. Now, there's some more details here as to the New York Stock Exchange strategy. So let me give you the details. The tokenized security platform is part of ICE's broader digital strategy. So ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange, is the owner, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, which includes the building of clearing infrastructure and support for 24/7 trading and potential integration of tokenized collateral. ICE is working with banks including BNY and Citibank to support tokenized deposits across its clearinghouses to help members manage money outside of traditional banking hours. For more than 2 centuries, the New York Stock Exchange has transformed the way markets operate, said Lynn Martin, president at the New York Stock Exchange Group. Here's a quote: "We are leading the industry toward fully on-chain solutions grounded in the unmatched protections and high regulatory standards that position us to marry trust with state-of-the-art technology." Very bullish news, guys. Incredible stuff. Here's what CZ, who is the founder of Binance Exchange, said about this news. He said, "This is bullish for crypto and crypto exchanges." So, folks, the world is going to be running on blockchain rails, tokenized assets, and all the traditional financial assets will be on chain. And of course, the public blockchains will be integrated, and that's where you can take your bet and hold the tokens of those said blockchains as we get the news and the details around it. Now, folks, this episode is brought to you by VeChain. VeChain is one of the top layer one enterprise blockchains out there. They're getting adoption from many big brands and companies around the world who are building cool Web3 technologies. And I'm a VET token holder. I have been since 2018. I'm very bullish on this project. And they're partnering with the likes of Dana White and the UFC. Last year, Dana White said he bought $1 million of VET token. They're also working with Boston Consulting Group, BMW, PwC, and many others. Some of the great features of the VeChain blockchain includes its scalable, secure, fast, compliant, and purpose-led. And they are doing some incredible things like building rewards with tokens and different ecosystems. It's pretty awesome. It's essentially the future, right? Like they reward you for doing things that help the environment and recycling and all these things. So VeChain is leading in many ways. So if you'd like to learn more about VeChain, go to vechain.org. Link will be in the description. Okay, moving ahead, Bermuda partners with Coinbase and Circle for fully on-chain economy. Guys, I know I've been beating the drum and saying it nonstop, and you're probably going to get tired. The future government's economy and markets are running on blockchain technology. So let me give you the details here. This is pretty big. The government of Bermuda is planning to create a fully on-chain national economy using digital asset infrastructure provided through partnerships with cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase and stablecoin issuer Circle. In a Monday announcement from the World Economic Forum annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland, Bermuda Premier David Burt and representatives from Coinbase and Circle said the partnership would allow the Caribbean island nation to use the USDC stablecoin and Coinbase's base infrastructure to develop a new model for the country's economy. Wow. Wow, folks. I mean, that is incredible. And as always, one domino falls, and then you're going to see the other countries in that region follow suit, and then around the world, right? Game theory will play out. So this is incredible adoption here. According to the companies and BERT, Bermuda government agencies will begin with a pilot program for stablecoin-based payments, financial institutions integrating tokenization tools, and residents participating in nationwide digital literacy programs. So the government is going to educate the masses about this technology and stablecoins. And look, we've been talking about it for years. Once the government start educating the masses, you're going to see incredible growth and adoption of this technology. And of course, the valuations rising up as people understand the opportunity here. So here is a quote from Bert. He says, "This initiative is about creating opportunity, lowering costs, and ensuring Bermudians benefit from the future of finance." Very bullish news, folks. And just watch more dominoes fall. Maybe in a month's time, you're going to see another maybe neighboring country or even in another part of the world start to do this. It's just a matter of time. And you can imagine Binance is watching this saying, okay, we're going to go do it with maybe Tether, right? Or their own stablecoin on their BNB stablecoin. I forgot what it's called. It's on the BNB chain, smart chain. So anyway, you're going to see competition start to expand around this. Now, Revolut targets remittances with new banking license in Peru. So we're seeing fintech companies who are involved in crypto, digital banks, and much more. They're expanding globally to offer crypto services. So Revolut, a London-based digital banking payments company, has applied for a full banking license in Peru as part of its expansion across Latin America, Bloomberg reported on Monday. If approved, the license will allow the company to operate as a regulated bank in the country, adding Peru to a list of regional markets alongside Mexico, Colombia, and Brazil. Bloomberg said Revolut plans to compete primarily with incumbent banks rather than newer fintech rivals. Revolut has identified remittances and cross-border payments as a key parts of its local strategies, noting that 1 million people in Peru rely on money sent from abroad. So, of course, they're going to be using stable coins and different things and offering crypto and much more. So just so you guys know, Revolut is a neobank founded in 2015, has recently expanded its crypto offerings alongside broader growth across its platform. So very, very interesting. Everybody's expanding, trying to get as much market share as possible. Final news item here. India's central bank proposes a plan to create digital currency link among BRICS nations. So we continue to see a lot of different rumblings and things happening around the globe where countries are looking to bypass the US dollar, and the BRICS nations are trying to do their own thing, and China has their digital yuan and much more. So India's central bank is urging the government to put a plan to link BRICS nations' central bank digital currencies on the agenda for the 2026 summit it will host. The proposed system aims to ease cross-border trade and tourism among BRICS nations while gradually reducing reliance on the US dollar. The initiative comes amid escalating US-India trade tensions under President Trump, whose tariffs and warnings against dollar alternatives have strained negotiations and hurt Indian exporters. So guys, a big paradigm shift is taking place here, and obviously countries are, kind of going at it, not in a traditional war sense, but you can see the tensions and the battle among for currency or having the top currency, and even for rare earth metals and resources and much more. It's a pretty crazy time. But, I think with these technologies, these countries recognize, hey, we can create our own thing and bypass. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm just highlighting the macro view, the change that's taking place and how this technology fits in it. So obviously the CBDCs are built on blockchains, right? So interesting time. We'll see how this all plays out, guys. And this will clearly play out in our lifetime here. Maybe by 2030, there's a completely new world order. And I know saying that sounds cliche and conspiratorial and all these things, but I'm not trying to be. It's clearly the technology is changing things, right? It's we're in the next industrial revolution, and it's going to change how things function. And look, currency is being disrupted. And it hasn't been disrupted for a long time. So this has, potential or impact that could be lasting for hundreds of years again, right? If you look back through human history and the change in currency and how things have changed. So yeah, lots to think about, but here's where we're taking the bet and trying to better our financial situations, of course. And we're going to continue to follow all these things and see what chess pieces are being moved here on the board, and try to, grab as much profit as possible. All right, folks, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't as yet. Please support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free on Substack. Link in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. Grab a copy. It will really help me out. It's available in paperback and digital. And if you want to expand your knowledge of crypto and blockchain technology, check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. So check it out, folks. Link will be in the description. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.